to make it shine all over again. We're just gonna be fine, no matter what lays ahead of us. There's plenty of miracles down the line, and if you ever feel you're hopeless, remember that we're just gonna be fine, no matter what lays ahead of us. There's plenty of miracles down the line.
We're going to start our meeting at about 6:05. So we just came out of a work session, but we'll be starting soon. Well, good evening and welcome to a regular city council meeting. Apologize for the brief delay. We got some spirited conversation in a work session and we want to keep moving on those things. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Hartke,
Present.
Vice Mayor Orlando,
Here.
Councilmember Encinas,
Here.
Councilmember Ellis,
Here.
Councilmember Stewart,
Here.
Councilmember Harris,
Here.
Councilmember Poston.
Present?
We have a quorum.
Very good. Our invocation tonight will be brought forth by Reverend Sarah Oglesby Dunnigan of the Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation, and our Pledge of Allegiance by Vice Mayor Orlando. Reverend.
Spirit of life and love, God of many names and no name at all, be with these leaders and this community. Help them to listen more deeply, ask more questions, and hold this community and its needs in the center of all of their decisions. Spirit, help them to consider far into the future and to learn from the past. Help them to learn and grow as leaders and as humans, shaping this community for other humans. Bless this community with compassion, integrity, and true leadership. For all of this, we pray and give thanks for your guidance and love. Amen. May it be so.
Please join me in honoring America through the Pledge of Allegiance of our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Reverend Oglesby, before you go, I just want to thank your congregation in particular. During COVID, when we had this program called I Help that's rotated around for years in different churches, but because of the conditions and the unknowns of COVID, your congregation took on the lion's share for 2 years, every single night. And you saved lives. You helped our community in a great way, and we're just grateful. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Before we go on, I do also want to acknowledge and welcome one of our legislators, Julie Willoughby, who is with us tonight as well. Welcome. Council, what's before us now is our consent agenda. We had a robust conversations and presentations on Monday. How would you like to proceed?
Mayor.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda of August 17, 2023, regular meeting items 1 through 30. 1 through 30.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Ellis. Council, any recusals, any actions necessary? Seeing none, please vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Very good. Next on our agenda is requested briefing. Thank you all for doing business in Chandler.
That's most everybody.
Next, we've got a briefing called in by Councilmember Stewart regarding Chandler's response to human trafficking. And who's going to be making that presentation?
Mayor, Council, I believe Assistant Chief Raymer will be doing it. And there he is now.
There he is.
Yes, I just saw him a minute ago.
He was behind the screen waiting for you to call his name, dramatic fashion.
Not this time.
Yeah, I drew the long straw, I think, today, right? So, all right. First, greetings, Mayor and Council. We appreciate this opportunity to speak with you tonight. This is a brief presentation highlighting the department's efforts in fighting human trafficking. So, in 2014, recognizing the immense impact that sexual exploitation has on a community, the department began to dedicate resources to address the issue with a focused goal on 1, providing awareness, 2, bringing offenders to justice, and 3, providing resources to the victims of these types of crimes. In 2015, Council approved funding to create the Human Trafficking Unit to investigate individuals and groups who engage in human trafficking and associated crimes. For 2023, just to highlight some of the efforts that we've done, the team has been participating in dozens of undercover operations. These include predator operations that have resulted in 40 arrests year to date, prostitution stings, which have resulted in 25 arrests year to date, park operations focusing on loitering and public sexual indecency in our parks, which have led to 10 arrests year to date, and rescue operations, where we've identified 25 victims of sex trafficking and have offered services to help them escape the lifestyle of prostitution. In addition, we've hosted 2 multi-agency predator operations, which have led to 31 total arrests with over 70 felony charges surrounding human trafficking. This was in a partnership with local police agencies as well as the FBI and Homeland Security. Now, I want to take a moment to highlight one of our detectives that's in this unit. That's Detective Mike Russo, who's just an amazing human being who has dedicated a great portion of his career to fighting human trafficking. He's assigned to the FBI's Human Trafficking Task Force, where he's participated in dozens of operations, including federal, state, and local partners. Most recently, he was part of Operation Cross Country and Operation Clean House, which led to 31 felony arrests, the recovery of 5 juveniles who were being trafficked, and 1 trafficker that was arrested. He is recognized as a subject matter expert in the field and has trained federal, state, and local officers across the country. In December of last year, he was recognized for his efforts by the FBI Director, Christopher Wray. And we're grateful that he's on our team. In furtherance of our mission, the Chandler Police Department Human Trafficking Unit has partnered with the Arizona Anti-Trafficking Network to combine our efforts in public education and awareness of human trafficking. There are several partners who benefit from this training, which are noted on the slide. In addition, we want to highlight our Victim Services Unit that works in partnership with various nonprofits in an effort to provide resources to those who are involved in human trafficking and to get them out of the lifestyle of prostitution. Now, to further our efforts, the City Council approved the $500,000 grant from the Arizona Department of Emergency and Military Affairs in June. This grant is going to help us in 3 specific areas. Funds will be allocated towards advanced equipment and supplies to carry out safe and successful operations. 2, funding will pay for current personnel overtime salary associated with future operations. And 3, funding will go to education, awareness, and training to various members of our community. These include the health and emergency services, who are often the first to encounter people that are victimized in these areas. The second is the school district, and to educate them. Obviously, these are the youth and children that are often targeted by these folks. And then also part of our Hispanic outreach forums, which are scheduled for the fall and the spring. And this is in light of studies that show the Latino population is unfortunately targeted more than any other group. Slide 8 is, oops, I went too far. We also want to highlight, because of our partnership with the Arizona Anti-Trafficking Network, as a city, we are working with a division under that group called CEASE, which stands for Cities Empowered Against Sexual Exploitation. CEASE works with local government through training employees, developing policy, and helping identify and implement interventions, all aimed to reduce commercial sex trafficking. And with that, we are absolutely grateful for the support over the many years to help us combat this in our communities from the mayor and council.
Thank you, Chief Rayner. Councilmember Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief, and I appreciate that explanation and the work that we're doing. I think it's something that's come to light over the past few years. It's something that's atrocious, and the more I'm learning about it, it's happening in everybody's neighborhood. Even South Chandler, Mid Chandler, West, East, it doesn't matter. It's happening in our neighborhoods, and it's an atrocity. I think I want to recognize the work that you're doing, and I want to recognize, what we've talked about here on the dais over the past, 2 or 3 years, really getting focused on this. And I think I can speak for mayor and council when I say that this is something we don't want in our city. And we want to devote the resources and the effort to ending this. So we're talking about some serious issues here. And this is probably the most heinous crime that there is that I can think of other than murder. And I think that we have to fix this. And if we can start here, I think we can do some amazing things and help other cities in that regard. Here's what I do know is that when the city of Chandler Police Department puts their mind to lowering crime, it happens. When they put their mind to doing anything, it happens. And I know that if you were given the resources that you needed, we could make a bigger dent in it than we already are. Commend your officers for the work they've already done, and thank you for giving us this presentation. But I want to recognize Representative Willoughby, who's here tonight, because with her efforts, she's appropriated $2 million directly to our police department. And I'm hoping that through the city manager and through the rest of us, we can dedicate some of that funding to continue to do things to stamp out human trafficking in Chandler. So thanks very much, Assistant Chief. I appreciate the presentation.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. And you're right, it is very heinous and very stomach churning when we see these operations.
Yeah. Assistant Chief, I also want to thank you for putting up that C slide. And this applies, I want to challenge all of us on this days to go ahead. City manager sent out a link. I think it's a 15-minute or so training to help us and really in our part to lead the city and challenge the rest of our city to become more informed and more aware. And who knows when that opportunity is going to be, but I believe that if we can get 75 as the recommended minimum of our city, if not more, to take this training, that I think we can even be a better force than that. So thank you for putting that slide up as well. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you, Mayor Councilor Stewart, for bringing this forward. It's an important issue to all of us, a lot of us. And, you know, one crime is way too many, whether it's in Chandler or another community. And we've done a lot. But again, I'm the type of person that likes to say, okay, what else can we do? And you knew that was coming, right, Chief? I saw you smile. So you don't have to give it to us now. But, you know, we're starting the budget cycle soon. And if there's something immediately, let us know. We'll work that issue. But let's look at our budget cycle. And if there's any legislation obviously be done, we got to get with Ryan Peters and the legislators, see if there's additional funding or laws or something to help us do the next step.
Absolutely. We will definitely do that. Appreciate that.
Let's go Councilmember Ellis and Councilmember.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief. And when I met with Detective Russo, and for almost 2.5 hours, he was really getting deep into explaining to me what the department is doing and what the background and everything, because I was interested because there was a company that was going to make a movie about the whole thing. So I brought him to the table with some of the lieutenants and chief to sit down and talk about it. The one thing that I found out from him, he was a team of one.
Yeah.
He's a team of one, and we cannot put so much on one person.
Yep.
And when I asked him, as a first responder myself and a nurse, I wanted to find out from him what are the gracious things that he has seen. He couldn't even describe them to me. And this is a family man. He has children himself, and every single day he's dealing with these things. Another thing that I found out also about him, he's not only working here in Chandler, but he's traveling all over the United States because he's part of everything that's happening. So he is getting the burden from Chandler, but he's also getting the burden. And Vice Mayor, you did ask, what else can we do? I think that's an area where we all can agree that we will need to put some, force behind that, making sure that he has the staff and the manpower that he needs for us to see more and more being done in that area.
Yeah,
So thank you again.
Unfortunately, the team's actually, just to clarify, the
Yes.
team has one sergeant and there's 4 detectives as well. Just for staffing, people have moved to other areas. We haven't been able to backfill that.
Yeah.
But we did create a team, a list that we hope to put on there. And they've actually been helping out. When we have that opportunity on overlap days, these folks will go and assist with different operations and things like that.
Yeah.
But to your point, absolutely, we'll continue to look and find ways to enhance this mission because it's so vital.
And I don't remember if he mentioned it to me. Do we have money for hiring, but we have not been able to hire yet?
Staffing is an issue that's nationwide, and we're actually doing better than most. I know there's some recent changes that we've made to help address that with some incentives for hiring, which is very grateful, and I think that will push us forward. We do have some recent success. We have 8 going to the academy
Good.
this month, and we have 4 laterals that are currently in the process. So it's a constant struggle, but we're working it, and hopefully we can get to that point where we can put those individuals that are on the list permanently into those positions.
Yes. Thank you so much, Chief. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Harris.
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Stewart, for bringing this forward. I think this is a great thing that you decided to bring forward. Not only that, you helped lead the for us to get the proclamation for Not in Our City. So you did good work in that. I guess I wanted to also say thank you to State Representative Julie Willoughby for getting that $2 million over to the city of Chandler. It's very from a grateful city. Thank you so much for that work and that support. I guess my question would be to you, Chief, is thank you for the presentation. And I know we've already said what more can we do. Is there a way that we can track? Like, is there data? I mean, because sex trafficking is one of those type of things that is there a way that we can? Is there data that can track what's happening in Chandler? Is there data that says, okay, kids are being abducted from Chandler and put into that room? How do we track that from like a city perspective?
Well, we keep track of all crimes that take place, and certainly we can pull some of that. There's no, just to be clear, this isn't the things that you see on TV where there's kids being abducted. This is completely different. And most of these operations, it's very much like narcotics operations where you're either posing as a seller or a buyer. And a lot of these offenders aren't necessarily in the Chandler community, but they prey upon many of the youth throughout the entire valley. And they do it through things like social media, gaming systems, different apps, things like that. So when we do this, we're trying to target those folks because we know they're hitting all over the valley, all over the state. But this isn't necessarily where you see someone that's being abducted off the streets. It's very, very different from that. But certainly we can produce some data that kinds of shows some of the arrests, some of the investigations and things that we've done.
And are we continually to put up signage and working with businesses to put up signage around our city to make sure to put preventative messages out there or to make sure that our community is educated? Are we working with our community business owners and schools?
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of what the plan's been and some of the funding that we're getting from this grant. It's going to be complete education in the schools, community outreach, as well as working with the hospital staff that often they encounter these victims. So
thank you, Mayor.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yep.
Councilmember Encinas.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief, when this grant item came to council a couple months ago, it was specifically directed to the Latino Hispanic community as far as being vulnerable to human trafficking. You touched a little bit on the presentation, but is there a certain, I don't want to say occasion, or is there like an uptick? Is there a reason why this community is being targeted? And then do we already have a strategy in place as far as the outreach or how we're going to be informing people?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an awareness piece. As you know, 23% roughly of our demographic are Hispanic, and we have outreaches with all the different population groups within our community to include the Hispanic population about crime trends, how they can be aware of it, how they can prevent it from being a victim. And so this will go to that. We have one in the fall, one in the spring. So October 28th, we're partnering with CUSD. We're going to be at Goodman Elementary School, and we're going to do a Hispanic outreach there. And this will be a part of that, just educating them, awareness, how predators prey upon the youth and giving them tools to be aware and to avoid their children from being victimized.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and certainly if you want to attend, that'd be nice to have you there.
Yes, if you can give me the invite, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Make sure you send that to all of council.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We'll send it to all of you. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
All right. Thank you.
Next on our agenda tonight, we have no unscheduled public appearances this evening.
No, Mayor, I have not received any cards.
Very good. So current events. I will start. I've got a few. First, coming up next month is our Chandler Contigo Festival. It's a month-long celebration to commemorate Hispanic Heritage Month. It kicks off September 16th with a family-friendly festival downtown. There will be strolling mariachis, crafts, face painting, interactive cultural presentations, and lucha libre, masked wrestlers who will be there to teach you some moves. I understand that Vice Mayor has agreed to put a mask on and show us some moves. So you will you will find Contigo events all month long, from dance parties to art displays, library story walks, and you can find them all on chandleraz.gov/Contigo. It's been mentioned a few times at different locales, but we have our City Day event coming up October 21st. We're going to be tackling a neighborhood close to the corner of Cooper, east of Cooper, south of Chandler Boulevard, north of Fry. And every October, our community joins forces on For Our City Day. Last year, we had over 1,300, and this group of volunteers has been revitalizing and will again this year a neighborhood by painting homes, spreading gravel, cleaning alleys, and more. So I'd like to invite our families, our businesses, council members, faith-based groups to set up for this year's event. There's also going to be a job fair at the celebration at the local park. You can find out about this and more at forourcitychandler.org. And one more from me is next week, we are very excited as a council to commemorate our partnership with ASU as it comes to fruition, as we open up a new community co-working space at the ASU Chandler Innovation Center. And so I'd like to invite our community to attend the celebration next week on Wednesday, August 23rd at 9:15 a.m. to tour the facility. And our goal in this partnership is to make the ASU Chandler Innovation Center, ACIC, a one-shop stop for entrepreneurs looking to launch or scale a business. The pieces are falling into place with co-working space, prototyping space, and upcoming launch of the Chandler Endeavor Venture Innovation Incubator. I should have had you read that one. We encourage local innovators to explore what this great community resource has to offer. And again, you can learn more at chandleraz.gov. And last but not least, we want to thank, as council, Melissa Quilliard for your tremendous service to us. Melissa is taking on a new job, and we have appreciated how you have really helped us message and help us be a better council and council members at all. So thank you so much. You didn't know that was on my list. I'm sorry. Councilmember Encinas.
No announcements for me. Thank you.
Right. Councilmember Ellis.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, we can't all agree that it's been really hot. And whenever you see me with my little umbrella, you know that I'm trying to stay away from the sun. But we're getting something downtown that's really going to help us to cool down. That is crispy cone. I mean,
Cones.
cones. Crispy cone. Oh my God, this is
Ice
going to
cream
be
cones.
so cool. It's going to be some ice cream downtown. I'm looking forward to it. I'm there tomorrow for the ribbon cutting. Anybody else is coming? Free samples? Did you know about that? They said, oh. So we don't know yet, but it's going to be at 11 a.m. tomorrow, right across the street from City Hall. So we are asking everybody from Chandler, please come down and join us. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to taste all the different flavors. Thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
Melissa, I'll miss you. We'll all miss you. So thank you very much. You know, my first tour of duty here, we've had one person that held that desk. Now we've had two, so it must be my fault. I apologize. Now, seriously, good luck and keep in touch, okay? Second, Mayor, I don't think we meet until after Labor Day. So everyone have a safe Labor Day. That is one of the highest fatality days of the year. So please be careful driving, okay? Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm not going to miss that ice cream, Councilmember Ellis. I don't miss ice cream. Melissa, all the best in your endeavors. We're excited for you. So, hey, you know, speaking of entrepreneurs, we've got another Chandler-based entrepreneur that's opened a restaurant in downtown Chandler called Elliott Steakhouse. And so we'd like to congratulate them on their opening. I think their grand opening is tomorrow. So, oh yeah, and I went over there with mayor and council were there, and I'm sorry, the grand opening was yesterday.
Yeah.
And so their big opening is this weekend. So try to hit them this weekend or next. But great to see flourishing businesses in downtown Chandler. Take care.
Councilmember Harris.
Yeah, I know I was at Elliot's place last night, and, and the mayor was there too.
Monday night.
But I want to just say real quickly, just want to thank the city of Chandler for all the prayers. I had a death in my family, and I had so many people reach out to me, and I just wanted to tell you guys thank you so much for all the love. And then yesterday I celebrated my birthday. I think I have received over 7,000 happy birthdays. And so it was so overwhelming. And so with everything I have been going through, I needed that. And so I just want to tell the city of Chandler, thank you. And thank you to mayor and council and all the staff here who's sending me text messages and stuff. And I appreciate that. And I just want to say thank you. So thank you.
I was one of those 7,000, and I didn't get a thank you, a heartfelt response yet. We're all waiting, all 7,000 of us. Councilmember Poston.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Well, I have my reservation for next Friday night for Elliot, so I'm all set. So thank you. And Mayor, I just wanted to highlight something that we approved tonight on the consent agenda, and it's something that I think is really kind of neat. It's the intergovernmental agreement extension to stock the fish in our lakes, which seems like, it's kind of a simple little thing, but it's actually really, really neat. And I actually one time had the opportunity to watch that happen. Right now, it's about 18,000 fish going into Desert Breeze and Veterans Oasis. I got to see it happen out at Veterans Oasis. It's a sight to be seen, but that's what really makes this kind of recreation that you're seeing on the screen possible. All of the fishing. You don't think of fishing a lot in the desert, I don't think, but I think it's a really neat thing that we did. Just wanted to highlight that we have this agreement, that's what it's for. It's there for our residents. It also means that Game and Fish assists with water quality tests and lake assessments and all of those things, but mostly it means something really neat for our residents. So I just wanted to point that out, that it's a great opportunity for Chandler residents to go out, especially with their kids and that sort of thing. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
in. I'm terrible at it, but I'm in.
City Manager.
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, Council, it's 6:33. That closes our meeting tonight.